Prussia Cove, smuggler John Carter's legacy, thought to be from a childhood game he played, and the origin of the name for the area. The Carter brothers were notorious smugglers in the late 18th century, using the cove's natural features to hide their illicit activities. John and his brother Henry were well known along the French coast, but during the war with the French, they were arrested and imprisoned in St. Malo for 1 year. Because of the expense of the war with France, high duties had been imposed on luxury items such as wine, spirits, and tobacco. The little cove had slipways for landing goods, and Carter had a house with cellars and lofts where they could store the contraband that they had landed, and it was difficult to get to by land without being seen by lookouts, so it became the perfect base for smuggling. It was no small operation. The Carters owned 2 large boats with up to 20 guns and 30 men on each. They were good seamen with an encyclopedic knowledge of the Cornish and the French coasts. Each vessel would be equipped with at least 1 smaller boat for inshore work. Most local Cornish people helped the smugglers, so there was a network of people to store, transport, and sell the goods in markets upcountry. Once the customs men were installed around the coast, some armed battles took place between the smugglers and the customs men. Harry Carter wrote of one battle in 1788. My nose was cut in 2, and huge cuts in my head made 2 or 3 pieces of my skull work out afterwards. Harry managed to get away and went into hiding for 3 months for his wounds to heal. On one occasion, John fired on a revenue cutter from a gun battery on top of the cliffs. The customs men were trying to follow one of Carter's vessels into Prussia Cove. Another time, John Carter broke into the customs house at Penzance and took back contraband that had been taken from him. John Carter has been here, reported one of the customs officers. We know who it was because he has taken nothing away that was not his own. The Carters were confirmed Methodists, and Harry is said to have held Sunday services on the beach for smugglers. There are still remains of the Carter family's smuggling infrastructure, including a slipway cut into the rocks for landing boats, and caves that were used to store contraband. In 1803, the Carters' house was sold by auction. John disappeared, and Harry became a full-time preacher. Some of the family continued with the smuggling operation, but when the Prussia Cove Coast Guard station was built in 1825 and local men kept being arrested, smuggling became less attractive. The smuggling had finally been stopped.